What up, YouTube? Been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my latest laptop. Um, so when I ordered this was the latest Alienware M15 R5. It looks like now they have an R6. Just glancing at their website, I'm not 100% sure the differences yet, but still has the latest specs. I mean, there's nothing new that's come out, so the R6 couldn't have a newer processor or GPU or anything like that yet. So this was a ready to ship I got on Dell's website through, like a employee pricing discount thing. So I got it for like $1,100. I think right now it's like $1,679 as of today, which is August 15th. So it was actually a lot cheaper for me than to order anything on Best Buy, and I'd definitely consider the Alienwares to be a premium. They're a lot cheaper, more budget, options. Some of the Acer Nitros or whatever. I had the Alienware M15 R2, which I made a video on, and I had to have motherboard replacement on that, and I think it was a 9th Gen i7 with an RTX 2060, and it ran pretty much at 100 degrees Celsius, no matter what I did, as far as, a cooling pad or anything like that. So this has had tons of improvements. I guess probably a lot of the technical stuff I don't really know, but whatever it is, it all works really well. So this uses the latest Ryzen 7. It's a 5800H. It's a 8 core, 16 thread, 4.4 gigahertz. Beast new Ryzen. I use the new Ryzen over here on my desktop as well, and definitely a big fan of the new Ryzen stuff. Definitely as far as like thermals and stuff over the last, I had the Dell G7 7700 17.3 inch with the 10th gen. I think it was like the 10750H, and that thing was a furnace in that laptop. So definitely wanted to branch out into the new Ryzen laptops to give them a try, and I've been blown away with performance, with thermals, with fan noise, like all that stuff on this machine has been incredible. And this is a relatively base spec. I didn't get like a 3080 or anything. This is actually the 3060 model, which I couldn't find any reviews on. It's the Dark Side of the Moon, I guess, colorway. So it's black, has that same like really cool kind of aesthetic thing. Every time I use it in public, everyone's always like asking me questions. It definitely draws attention. Good enough ports. I have a Type C USB, regular USB, Super Speed 3, an HDMI, and then the power. On this side, we have the Ethernet port and a headphone jack. And then over on this side, we have 2 more USBs. So not a whole ton, but definitely enough for, myself. I guess the average person, if you're like a crazy, this is your workstation, you might need a little bit more, but they always have dongles and all sorts of stuff you can, splitters for USB, whatever. So this does have the tri-zone keyboard. I did not get the bird key mechanical Cherry MX RGB keyboard. This is like the same keyboard style like I had on the R2, and I actually really like the keyboard. I didn't really have the option to pay the extra $100 to get the other keyboard, because like I said, this was a ready to ship model, and if I wanted to build one, the base price started a lot higher, even if I configured it the same. So this was like an exclusive, so I just kind of left it the way it was. So it came with the 57 or 5800H, whatever it is, 16 gigs of RAM, and the good thing about this RAM is it does run at 3200 megahertz right out of the box. So that is also a big plus. A lot of times they put generic cheap, it usually runs at 2400 megahertz, and with Ryzen loving the fast memory, you really don't have to upgrade the memory in this unless you want more capacity. This came with just a 256 gig NVMe, and I order them like that anyways, because you pay, I think, to get a terabyte, it was an extra 150 bucks, and I'm like, you can buy a really nice hard drive for 150 bucks, and really fast, PCI NVMe, and then run both and still save money. So like I usually try to get the smallest and put whatever drive I want. So I did add a 1 terabyte WD Black NVMe as well. So I have 256 gig that it came with and the 1 terabyte. So I have plenty of storage in here for what I use it for. I mostly play Fortnite. I have Cyberpunk up here, and a couple of videos I just made, my Fortnite videos to go up. But for the most part, it crushes everything that I need to play. It has the 3060 6 gig in it. It's not like the 12 gig like in the desktop, but I mean, I think that's a little silly anyways. Especially at 1080p resolution like this has, I don't really need 12 gigs of video RAM. The 3060 really performs well in this. I mean, temperature wise, I'm staying in like the mid to low 70s as far as temperatures. Gaming processor gets to like low 90s, but that's with the stock fan curve. I don't like, I think if I hit like this, so this button right here, you might hear it start to ramp up, but it'll turn my fans all the way up. It starts to drop into like the low to mid 80s when I do that. Hit it again, turn it down. But I don't have to mess with any of that stuff. My temperatures are fine. Nothing is thermal throttling. Nothing. It's not hot, to use the keyboard when I'm gaming. It's very audible and pleasant to use. Like, I play in the kitchen in my brother's house all the time, and does not bug them. So in that aspect, it's a really, really big improvement. The other one sounded like a hairdryer and ran at 100 degrees Celsius, on all cores. Like, it was, I mean, I guess it was fine, because once I replaced the motherboard, I didn't have any issues until I'd sold it and never heard anything, whatever. But this has the 165 hertz screen, which I definitely think is the way to go. It's a 3 millisecond. I'm not sure the nit brightness. I tried to look it up, but it's very bright. It's very vibrant. I try not to go off specs. I try to go off, when I'm using it, how does it look? It's not quite like my Mac screen. I don't know where my Mac is. Okay, it's over there, but it's not quite like my Mac screen. But for gaming and stuff like that, the response time and all that is really, really good. So for the most part, I mean, the battery life when I'm not gaming and stuff like that seems really, really good. I usually get a couple hours. I'll bring it and, use it at like Starbucks or something like that, for some school stuff. And I can get a couple hours out of it, on battery life. And that's with, all the lights going and everything. I don't game with any of them on, battery life. So I can't really tell you as far as that goes. But it does have a 240 watt power brick, which I'll grab and show you guys. A little ridiculous. Pretty old school looking, pretty monstrous, really heavy, but I mean, if you want something small and portable, you get a Mac and you get this little fancy charger and a fancy little computer. But this is really meant, to be like, I mean, at this point, these things make really great desktop replacements. I mean, I play Fortnite on medium settings, 1080p with shadows turned off, capped at 165 frames per second with like no dips. So I know it's capable of playing it on high settings. I'm just used to the medium with no shadows. I feel like I perform better that way. But I mean, it pretty much plays. I mean, I play Cyberpunk on high settings, at 80 to 90 frames per second. So for really, I think the 3060 1080p really is a great pairing. 16 gigs of RAM is fine for me, and then I have, an 8-core 16-thread processor. So it's really not that heavy. I mean, I carry this and my Mac in a backpack, and it's fine. You definitely sacrifice, some thickness. I mean, it's definitely a little bit chunkier, but it is by no means like, like an Acer Titan or, anything like that. It is, pretty slick looking computer. Very simple. You have the nice Alien logo, then 15, because it's a M15. And then you have this cool signature LED thing here on the back, and it's all configurable. Same with the keyboard. It's still on the default, even though I've had it now for some time. But and then you also have the Alien button here, which is also the power button. And then these right here, I think, are just the vents for the heat. Speaker quality, I mean, it gets louder than I care to use. I use pretty much all the time, you know, my Bose 700s, so I don't really use the speakers too much, but you know, I have for videos and, you know, clips and stuff like that, and like I said, they get louder than, you know, I care to use them. So same deal, laptop speakers, they're not anything crazy. They just put out, you know, a decent amount of, you know, low level sound. So anyways, like I said, I wasn't able to find anything on the 3060, you know, M15 R5. This processor, this graphics card is pretty much exactly, I mean, literally, this right here uses a 5th gen or 5000 series Ryzen and an RTX 3060, you know, but it's obviously, it's a 5600X 6 core, and a 3060, which is 12 gigs. And I mean, between this and this, I mean, they're very similar. Obviously this isn't as fast as the desktop, but you know, for what it is, I mean, it's a very nice portable machine. And anything, you know, I'd say in the $1,500 range, if you can grab this, is going to be, you know, a really, you know, top contender. I'm just very biased to Dell, and you know, I like the Alienwares, I like the aesthetics, I like the build quality. You know, you pay a premium, but you get what you pay for. And you know, I worked in the IT industry, and I get employee pricing because I used to do a lot with Dell, and they've always been good to me. And I've always been, you know, if you look at my videos, I've had a lot of, you know, Dell products. So if you're considering it, like I said, if you can get this around, you know, 1500 or so with the Ryzen, the 165 hertz, and you know, a 3060, I mean, I'd say you're you know, fair market value. You know, it's not the best, you know, bang for your buck, it's not the highest quality, you know, I'd say it's somewhere in between. But definitely, you know, draws heads, which I do like. I do like, you know, having something that's a little flashy and kind of cool and different, something you don't see every day. Whereas, you know, I know a lot of the MSIs have like the stealth and, you know, try to be discreet. You know, I kind of like, you know, I can shut the lighting off, it looks like a black laptop, or I can, you know, keep it lit up, and you know, everyone double takes when they look over at it. So awesome machine. Anyways, like I said, if you have any questions, drop them below. I'm a small channel, so I try to get, you know, to them as soon as I possibly can. And being a small channel, I'm able to do so. So if you have any questions, just drop them down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. If you're watching this, you're supporting me, and I appreciate that. As always, stay safe, and have a great day.